Hi, I'm Mona, and if you're here, you found Kaleidoscope Dreams Tarot. Today I'm going to do a pick a card, and this is part of our healing energy sessions. I have 3 piles here, pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. I would like to add that none of this is absolute. Nothing is absolute, okay? We're just reading some cards, and we're just talking about them, all right? I'm not here to change your mind on any situation or any thing that you believe in. All I'm doing is reading some cards, talking a little bit about them, and maybe, you can think for yourself, you know. You should never turn to the tarot for finding an absolute answer or predicting anything, your future, or anything like that, because you are definitely the creator of your own destiny, okay? I also want to add that I'm not trying to change anybody's religion or make them think a certain way, because that's entirely up to you, okay? Only you make your own decisions, and you are the one who does what you do, okay? We're just here to just, you know, talk about things, make a little bit of discovery about ourselves, if anything, and, that's about it, okay? So I'd like to say subscribe, like, comment, and share if you like this video, and somebody might need it, or comment, because I like to hear what you guys have to say about the readings. I'd also like to say hello to my subscribers, welcome back, and to any new subscribers. I'm really glad you're here. Maybe we can do something to help you out today. So today's question is, how can I have a better relationship with the divine? All right. And this is for any religion that you might believe in, or maybe you don't believe in anything, but strange things have been happening and you don't know which way to turn, and you're trying to maybe turn to God or something, or whoever it is that you believe in, the universe, whatever, This can apply to any religion, because I personally believe that all religions have some similarities to them. So I'm not targeting any particular one. All right, you make your own decision. And hopefully you've been able to choose a pile here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you do need some more time, go ahead and pause the video. You're more than welcome to, ponder on it for a little bit before you make your actual choice. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start with this pile. This is pile number 1. And yeah, pile number 1's first. Okay, so this is for those of you who were drawn to choose pile number 1, and the question is, how can I have a better relationship with the divine? Let's find out. So first of all, we have the steer skull. And the steer skull represents silent testimony. So maybe you're being silent about something that has happened to you. Maybe you don't want to talk to people about it. You don't want them to tell you you're crazy or anything like that. And you're turning here to this card reading because you're feeling that maybe you need to get in touch more with the divine, regardless of your religion. You're just trying to find answers. That's all you're trying to do. All right, let's find out what's going on here. So first we have the Wheel of Fortune. Next we have the Hanged Man. Next we have the Tower. We have the Page of Cups. We have the Six of Wands. We have the Ten of Wands. Oops, sorry, I always do that. I tend to put the cards upside down sometimes, so sorry about that, you guys. We have the Eight of Pentacles. We have the Seven of Swords. We have the Four of Rods. We have the Eight of Pentacles. We have the Nine of Pentacles. And then we have the Moon. So, the first three cards that came out are all major arcanas, okay? And that's really trippy. We also have, as the last card, we have the Moon card, okay? So somebody wants to go into a certain direction that they feel is more, that's more better for them, right? You want to move in a certain direction because you want to discover something about yourself, all right? And you've been in your head a lot about it, in this hangman mode, feeling like you can't move forward because it's like you just want the truth, right? You just want the truth about what's going on around you and why things are happening to you in a certain way. Maybe you've experienced something like the tower, where your whole life came crashing down before you, and you basically, are questioning everything. Like, why did this happen to me? Why am I being put through this? Why me? You might be a young person who's really emotional, right? You may try to be remembering things of the past, probably from your childhood, that caused you a lot of emotional turmoil. But you're wanting victory from this. You're wanting the truth, is what you're wanting. And you feel like this is so much of a burden because you can't seem to, find the answers that you need. Maybe you can't talk about it with anybody because, like I said before, people might be saying, oh, you're crazy. What are you talking about? You know? And you've been working pretty hard yourself trying to find answers, right? And you're maybe finding out that a lot of the things that you found out or things that you learned from childhood were, you're deceived. Maybe they're not true. You're not able to really handle that. And you can't really, like I said, you can't really talk to anybody about it because they're all going to say you're nuts. This could be in regards to relationships and how relationships should be carried out, right? We do have the Eight of Pentacles twice here, and you've definitely been working hard trying to figure out why me? Why am I going through this? And it's just so hard for you. Maybe you haven't been able to find that right relationship because of misconceptions about relationships. And you've been single like for a really long time. You just can't seem to figure out how to make relationships work. Like maybe you've been in a lot of relationships, but they all seem to fail somehow. And you're single now, and you're independent. You think for yourself. You've worked hard for everything that you have. You're financially stable, you're grounded, you're rooted, right? But there's just some secrets that you feel have been held from you, and you're just not, agreeing with anything that you've been taught in the past. Okay? So this is basically what's going on with you right here. You're just trying to find answers, you're trying to find the truth, you're trying to shed some light on things, because the things that you've been taught in the past possibly are not making any sense to you right now. Okay. All you want is truth here. So basically, this is what you're going through, and you're wanting to have, a better relationship with the divine, I guess. Whatever religion you are, whatever faith you are, and you're maybe even starting to question faith. So you're kind of stuck right now. This is that point where you're trying to decide on which way to go because you're stuck, you know, because of all these secrets that have come out and all these things that are happening, you know. And definitely this is something for the end, you know. But I want to let you know if this resonates with you, then it's probably really vital that you stay until the end and find out the solution. Okay, if it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. Maybe you chose the wrong pile, whatnot, but this is actually what you're going through right now. And what we can do to find the solution will definitely be at the end. So if this pile does resonate with you, then we will definitely find something for you at the end, okay? Um, you know, a lot of times when we're growing up, our parents, you know, teach us stuff, and not all of it's right all the time. Some of it could be, you know, some of it's not, but you can't blame them because, you know, they're basically teaching you what they've learned and what they believe. This is how they were brought up. Maybe they just never came to light to finding the truth themselves, and it's the divine that's actually contacting you to say, hey, something that you've learned in the past isn't right. And we want you to understand things. We want you to be more clear about stuff because maybe, you know, you can be one of those persons who can help to bring an understanding to others who are going through the same thing, right? So you can't really blame the parents, but what you can do is try to find out your own truth so you're not, you know, pondering on this for the rest of your life, stressing out about it. You know, maybe you've seen your parents go through relationships, or maybe you've seen them fighting their whole relationship and you think, oh wow, is this what I have to look forward to? This sucks, right? But it's not what you have to look forward to. You have much better things to look forward to. You need to just reconsider what it is that you think about relationships, and then maybe you can bring some, shed some light on whatever it is you are going through, okay? And the best thing to do is find out the truth. Find out your own truth, you know, and basically the best way that you can do that is if you can get maybe in touch with the divine, right? Try to go straight to the source to find out the truth. But it's difficult because it's hard to get in touch with them. It's hard to know how you're supposed to do this. Well, this is a first step, I guess. This is one way you could do it. You can also learn the tarot yourself. It's pretty fun. It's pretty exciting. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication because there's a lot of study that's involved, not just with the cards, but with a multitude of different subjects or things that go on with it. You know, your mind, your body, your soul. A lot of research too. Okay, you'd have to be really dedicated and studying constantly. You know, if you are, you know, just starting the tarot. A lot of people start when they're teenagers, so they have all this time behind them to go through things, go through school, go through study, understanding, whatever, you know. But if you're, you know, older, like me, for example, I've had to go through some rigorous study, actually, to try to find my truth. And, you know, fortunately, I've had a lot of time on my hands to do that. Some people can't because, you know, they work, they have families, they got to take care of kids, whatever, whatnot, right? And I suppose you can go to an outside tarot reader and they're just going to tell you what they tell you, and that's it. You know, some of them are just learned the cards, and that's what you get. Some of them are very intuitive, and can actually see visions. You know, some people can actually speak to people who have passed. You know, but you know, it's pretty much up to you how you want to take this, and if you whether or not you want to believe it, which is absolutely fine. I'm not trying to force anybody to think any particular way. I'm just trying to help you think for yourself, really. You know, Don't put your life on the line because of a tarot card reading. Please, please don't do that, all right? It's just here to basically trigger something in you to hopefully allow you to think for yourself, and possibly the person who gave you a reading is very educated and has studied well, not just about the tarot, but about anything that has come their way, you know? So, I'm going to go ahead and move on to pile 2. You can go ahead and skip to the end if you're, so anxious to find out what the solution here is. And, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and move on to pile number 2. Okay, so this is for those of you who chose the second pile, pile number 2. And the question is, how can I have a better relationship with the divine? All right, let's go ahead and find out. Okay, so we have the lizard. The lizard. So the lizard represents caution and regeneration, okay? So what I'm getting here with that is you need to take caution on whatever you hear about religion or anything. Take caution, okay? Not everything out there that you're going to read or that you're going to hear about is true. It might even contradict things that you've learned about. You know, don't read something and be like, oh my gosh, that's it, this is why this is wrong. No, go to a couple of sources, find out what other things are saying, other religions, whatever. Compare, compare and contrast. Okay, don't just go to one thing and be like, oh, this is why. No, that's never usually just why. When you're dealing with this type of thing, you'll see similarities amongst all sorts of different religions. No matter how different they are, there's always going to be something there that's similar. And then you're going to step back and wonder, whoa, all these people or all these religions, they're like the same, but they're all different. I wonder why. Okay, so what we're trying to do here is we're going to try and regenerate what it is in your mind and what you see and what you've studied. You're going to try to regenerate a new outlook on something. Okay, I'm just going to talk about it and you're going to decide. Okay? So let's find out. So first we have the 7 of Cups. Alright. Let me make sure that some of these cards are not upside down. Okay. Just making double sure. Alright, is that really, is there a big, can you even see that card? Gosh. You guys, let me turn the light down just a tad. There's too much of a glare. Oh, well, that could be a little bit better, but okay. So we have the 7 of Cups. We have the 4 of Cups. We have the 5 of Wands. We have the Page of Rods. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the 9 of Swords. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Emperor. We have the Knight of Swords. We have the Magician. We have the Fool. And we have the High Priestess. You guys, I am blind. I need a little bit more light. Hopefully that's okay for you guys. Alright. So first we have the 7 of Cups right here, okay? And the 7 of Cups can mean all sorts of things. Could mean you have a lot of options, choices, but it can also mean a lot of delusions. We have the 4 of Cups. Maybe somebody has shown you something and offered you something, maybe a pamphlet or or something like that, knocked on your door and said, "Can we talk to you for a minute?" or something like that, right? You're not refusing the offer, you're just kind of questioning it. And we also have the Five of Wands here, and it's due to a lot of, that could be a lot of mental conflict, being in your head about something and just thinking, gosh, what is this? What's going on here? You're being really cautious about whatever it is that's being brought to you, but you're still going with it. Next we have the Page of Rods, and the Page of Rods is a very passionate person, a young person, right? Somebody who's maybe passionate about what they do, what they're learning, how they're going about things, right? We also have the Queen of Pentacles, and this is usually a married woman, financially stable and secure. And perhaps this we have this nine of rods here, and perhaps this Queen of Pentacles is really passionate about what she does, what she believes in, right? This could be you. You could be that young, passionate person carrying that Queen of Pentacles energy. And we also have the Queen of Pentacles for a second time. Interesting, right? And if we were to put this card over here, we'd have the Queen of Pentacles looking forward, and this other Queen of Pentacles looking back at this Nine of Rods. The Nine of Rods is like fighting for something. Even though you know that there's going to be some kind of conflict there, you're still going to fight for whatever it is you believe in, right? You may be fighting with somebody who carries the energy of the Emperor. Somebody who's got all the qualities of a king, right? And maybe it's this person who has told you things about whatever it is you're wondering about. It was maybe some swift, harsh, and direct communication, right? Somebody's trying to force their views on you, maybe. We also have the Magician here, right? And because you're so passionate of trying to figure out what's going on here, you may be trying to manifest the truth for yourself, because somebody's really trying to force their views on you. All right? It could be your parents, it could be people you know, it could even be a religious figure. But it's really hard for you to accept this. I mean, you could have been a person who hasn't really studied too much of religion growing up. You could have been told some things here and there, but not really, got into it, not really understanding the concept the same way as everybody else does. So you may be trying to manifest your own truth and try to figure stuff out yourself. Because maybe a particular book, I'm not going to name any type of books because there's very many, okay, there's very many books and writings. Maybe you're reading this book, checking out all kinds of passages in it, and you're just, why are people so afraid of this book? Why are they so into it? Why do they fear what's written in this book? I can't feel that fear. I don't even know, I can't even gain a concept of that fear. I can't feel the same fear they feel. And most likely it's because when these people learned to fear that book, they learned as children. And it's so easy to mold a child's mind and make them think about things and become frightened of what can happen to them if they don't follow this rule or they don't follow that rule, right? But because you're an adult, possibly, of course you're an adult because you're here, and since you're an adult now and you're reading this, it doesn't sink in like it would as a child. So it's just making no sense to you at all. It's like, reading the book Little Red Riding Hood as a child, and all your life you're like going to be afraid of the big bad wolf because that's what you've been taught. So maybe every time you see a wolf or hear, oh, the wolf's coming, you become frightened somehow. It's because that wolf has been ingrained in your soul, in your subconscious, in your mind, to believe that if you don't do right, the big bad wolf's going to come back after you or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put it in the most easiest concept as I can tell you. So that's basically why these people fear, you know, certain books or sayings that come from this book. And so you're trying to manifest the truth for yourself, all right? And you're willing to take a journey to the past to try and figure things out. Okay, this person has told me this, but this person has told me that. You're just trying to figure out what's going on here because, life as you know it is not exactly as it's supposed to be as people are saying. And so you're doubting things now and you're just trying to figure shit out, right? You're definitely trying to manifest some sort of secrets, maybe some truth, doing a lot of studying, doing a lot of reading. Okay, and not only are you finding things out in these books that may possibly contradict themselves, you're also finding out about other things that are coming up that are making you question life as we know it. Perhaps there's been some sort of trauma in your life or something that has devastated you, that has led you to start this journey of trying to find the truth. Maybe that's what you're trying to manifest, the truth. You just want the truth. That's all you want, and you'll be happy. Any kind of truth. Maybe you've been lied to your whole life, not just about this, but about other things in your life. And you've decided that all you want is the darn truth. That's it. Can I get people to start telling me the truth nowadays? It's really hard. It's really hard to find a really genuine person who will tell the truth. I'm not talking about little white lies like, no, your butt doesn't look fat in that dress or those jeans. Not those kind of truths or lies, but serious ones. Serious information that can change one's life. So basically, you're finding out that the reason why these people are so set in their ways is because of how their minds have been molded as children, right? And that's where a lot of negative things come from. Racism, that's one. That's a big one. Some of our parents tell us, oh, this person is no good because their skin is this color. And that's absolutely ridiculous. That's like the worst. That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. And I hate to say it, but my parents, they taught me that way. And there is no way in heck that I believe that anymore. Because, somebody of color actually saved my life, and I would not even be here today if that person didn't save me. And that was my trigger moment to believe that what my parents have told me was absolute rubbish. Absolutely. But that's not the reason why, I switched my thoughts in regards to religion, though. That's one of the things in my life that I had to experience, that racism is the most stupid thing in the world. But, I learned it nonetheless, and I'm glad that I understand that. But right now we're talking about the divine. I didn't grow up on that at all myself. At all. I have no concept of why people are so afraid of these books, right? And what's written in them. Because some dude just wrote them. Just like some dude that wrote the book about the big bad wolf. Red Riding Hood. You know what I'm saying? You can check those books out at the library. Anyhow, so you're putting your mind to work. You're trying to figure things out. And that's why you're here. You've been led here to try and see if you can figure out the truth about something, anything, right? Anything. Well, I'm just here to help you think, and hopefully we can figure that out. But, the main thing here in this situation is you need to pretty much drop everything that you've learned growing up. Not just in regards to religion, but everything. And that's why you need to start this fool's journey. You need to start questioning everything and studying everything. Do as much research as you can. And I know it's hard because we all have lives. We all have to deal with, work, children, perhaps relationships. So much going on. First thing you need to do is drop, in my opinion, stop watching so much TV and listening to so much radio, because there's just so much negativity on that, and all that's rubbing off on you. That's one of the first things I did, is I just stopped watching the media. Got rid of all my social media too, on top of that, for a long time. I actually went into 3 months of solitude at one time, because I was so fed up with hearing all this negativity around me. But, that's me. I'm not telling you to do that, because you might have responsibilities. At that time and up until now, I've been very fortunate to be able to study freely and to look things up as, at my pace. And, I used to hate reading growing up. I used to hate it so much. I hated school. I hated everything. I didn't graduate till I was like 25 years old. But I graduated. I didn't get that GED. I graduated. Anyways, when this type of thing came to me, it was like I could not stop. I could not stop reading. Oh my God, I needed to know about every damn thing in the world. Everything. I wanted to know everything about this, about that. I was researching like an animal. And I went to school for like 20 plus years of higher education. And I never even graduated because it was like, I don't want to do this. I kept switching my majors over and over again until finally I just gave up. I said, you know what? Sure, I learned a lot of stuff, but I never really got anything out of it. It's not even really what I want to do. I was only doing this stuff because somebody was telling me, you should do this because you're going to make a lot of money and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, am I going to be happy? Right? You might be in that boat right now. Like, damn, you're working this job and it sucks. You get up every morning thinking, oh my God, I wish it was a day off today. That's not the way to live at all. Not at all. Anyways. So if this pile resonates with you or anything I've said, then possibly, you should go ahead and skip over to the end and see what kind of solution we have for you in regards to this situation and how you can have a better relationship with the divine, right? So with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and move on to the third pile, and we're going to see what's going on there, and I'll see you guys at the end. All right. Okay. Shoot, I didn't write the time. Let me write that in. I just saw 333, if that means anything to you, okay? So this is this is a pile number 3, if any of you guys chose that. And we're going to go ahead and find out is how you can have a better relationship with the divine, okay? Let's go ahead and find out. Okay, so we have the snake, right? And the snake represents fertility and life force, right? So something along these lines have to do with some sort of fertility. You're having issues with your own fertility, creating life, and it's starting to make you, do things like pray, why can't I conceive, or why do these terrible things keep happening to me in regards to having children, something like that, right? And so you've turned to the divine to try and find answers, but it's not really helping. I don't know. Could be something like that. Okay, let's find out what's going on here. Okay, so first of all, we have the 3 of Cups. All right. Next we have Seven of Wands, Temperance, Six of Pentacles, High Priestess, Ace of Rods, the Empress, King of Swords, Queen of Cups, Five of Swords, Ace of Swords, and the Queen of Wands, Queen of Peppermills. So let's find out what's going on here. So first of all, we have the Three of Cups, and that can represent celebration, right? Celebration and happiness. Woohoo! But it can also signify that there is a third-party situation, maybe somebody getting involved in your relationship or something like that. We also have the Seven of Wands here, and you may have been in conflict with somebody or several people in regards to this three-party situation. We also have Temperance right here. And temperance is like, being able to temper any situation, dealing with it, making it through, just being patient, stuff like that. A lot of stuff is happening or has happened, but you're tempering with it, you're dealing with it, you're being patient, thinking, oh, hopefully things will work out for the best, right? But then we also have this Six of Pentacles, and that could be somebody giving to two, maybe giving their attention to two, giving more attention at work than at home. It could be a case of not having equal give and take in a relationship, right? And we have the High Priestess here. Maybe you've been doing a lot of soul searching or trying to find out, why you're feeling sad and alone, or why you're feeling anxiety for something. There's something that's bothering you, and it could be in regards to fertility. We also have this Ace of Rods, and that's indicating a passionate new beginning somewhere. Maybe you're just newly married or newly in a relationship, but you can't seem to conceive, or something's going on there. Something is in the back of your head making you think possibly about life, making you have a lot of anxiety and stress. You may be like this Emperor, or this Empress too. This could be you. And the Empress is somebody who is very fertile. The Empress denotes new beginnings and, being fertile, having children, stuff like that. We also have this King of Swords here. The King of Swords is a person who is like a businessman, works hard, could be a hard-working husband, spends a lot of time at work trying to, get that money, bring in, the money so he can secure his family. But he's watching you for some reason. He's watching you. He's working, he's thinking, he's doing things, but he's also watching you. You may have been having conflicts with him about something. And it could be in regards to third-party situations. Because we also have the Queen of Cups here, and she's a very nurturing, emotional queen, right? She's got patience. She tempers all situations. She's a very kind woman and gives everybody a chance. Good mother. But, he's watching you. Maybe he feels that you are, or maybe, actually, you could be the Queen of Cups. And you could be involved with the King of Swords, but the King of Swords might be watching the Empress, right? And this is what maybe there might be bringing up fights and arguments. Because the Empress is super fertile. She just pops them out like nothing. But you might be emotional here, like this Queen of Cups. Really emotional. You're nurturing, you're loving, you're caring, but Something's just not happening for you. We also have this Five of Swords here, and that's indicating that there's a lot of maybe verbal bad words going back and forth, just fighting, arguing, bickering, just talking a lot of smack to each other maybe. And then we have this Ace of Flamingos, which is, it's a new beginning and everything, but could also signify cutting out a situation and putting an end to something. And we also have the Queen of Wands here too. Shoot, there's a lot of women here. There's a lot of women, but there's only one guy. Talk about a three-party situation, huh? Queen of Peppermills is really passionate, though. She goes after what she wants. She'll step on anybody if she has to. She'll leave anybody behind, if she has to. She's real passionate, if somebody's holding her back from her hopes and dreams, she doesn't care. She's going to keep moving forward. That could be you too. You could be one of these women. But when it comes to fertility, you might having issues with fertility. It could be because you are under stress. Stress can make your body do crazy stuff. All right? You can think so much about something and then perhaps your period doesn't come for like 3 months and you're just like, why isn't it coming? Oh shit. Why aren't I getting my period? Or something like that, right? You can trick your mind into doing that, into making you think you're pregnant when you're not. Things like that. You can also make your mind help you to heal. A lot of people have been, magically healed through meditation, through belief, through changing their subconscious mind and their mind causing their bodies to actually heal. I've seen stories of people losing their eyesight and having this degenerative eye diseases or issues because of accidents or whatever, something has happened. And then miraculously, after finding out about certain meditations and whatnot, their eyesight's returned. Even after the doctors have told them numerous times, you're going to lose your sight, you're not going to be able to see again. And then boom, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. You know what I'm saying? Crazy, crazy stuff like that. So maybe you're having issues with fertility in your relationship, and you might be stressed out because you've noticed that your partner might be straying, because your partner is losing interest in you because maybe he feels like, oh, she can't bear children. What did I do? Why did I choose her? Now he's starting to look at other women, looking to knock up someone else, and you are stressed. They might not have even done that yet, okay? It just could be in the minds of you, and or him. He might just be thinking about it, He might be looking but not touching, right? But you are deeply in your head about this. You are stressed out. And you could be stressing yourself out to the point to where maybe you have gotten pregnant and have possibly even had miscarriages over this. You could be overworking yourself. Just things like that. And I'm so sorry if those things have happened to you. I'm so sorry. And so maybe you've turned to the divine and you want to pray, please help me to have a child, blah, 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 things like that, right? But perhaps what it is your mindset also. Not just praying to the divine, but it could also be your mindset. You may be having so much anxiety and stress in your life that you are causing your body to shut down and not to be able to not do these things that you want. And now you're turning to the divine to try and help you. Maybe this is something that's subconscious that you have, ingrained in your own mind. Maybe you are turning to the right place to find answers, but maybe you're not doing it in the right way, because maybe you're not quite understanding, because you were raised a certain way and all you do is pray. But there's a lot to go along with this. It's not just prayer. It's basically the power of belief. Praying is one thing. You can pray. Anybody can pray and say something. But do you actually believe what you're saying? Deep down, do you really, really believe? Are you only praying now? Maybe it's the first time in your life you're actually praying and wanting something, and you haven't done it before. You know, maybe you went to church, this, that, and the other, but have you actually ever really prayed and believed what you are saying? Maybe you don't know how to pray right. If this is resonating with you, then maybe, you should definitely meet up with all of us at the end, see if we could find some answers here. Because I'll tell you that the divine will be here to give us some answers, definitely. They may be shocking, and they may be real easy, but let's go ahead and find out what's going to be showing up here at the end and see what kind of solution we get from the universe to help us through whatever these piles have told us. Okay, they're all very different piles, but we're asking the same question. So let's see what's going to happen, and it could apply to all of us, okay? So I'll definitely, I'll see you at the end, okay? Okay, so we finally made it to the end here, and we have the surrender cards and the wisdom of Buddha, the Shakti power cards, right? Pretty much for all of the energy healing sessions, we will be using these decks. I've come to realize that these decks are really in tune with the divine and with the universe, and so are these oracle cards. I have like 30 decks, but these particular decks seem to be calling out or speaking the best in regards to whatever it is that we are dealing with. So basically for the whole rest of the month, I'm going to be using these cards. Any other additional readings I do, these cards will not be touched. It's only for this purpose, okay? Like any extra pick of cards or whatever random ones, other cards will be used. But for the healing sessions, the healing energy sessions, we will definitely be using these cards, and we'll be sticking to these cards until the 31st, okay? So these cards are pre-shuffled, and we're trying to find out some solution or some advice in regards to how can I have a better relationship with the divine. And these cards are going to most likely tell us something that's going to trigger something in us to allow us to think for ourselves and come up with our own conclusions, our own decisions, right? You're not going to do what I say. You're going to do what you feel inside. This is you that's going to make the decision over your life. Not me, not these cards, but you. Okay? So let's go ahead and put these to the side. These are all pre-shuffled, but of course you guys know I like to do an additional shuffle so I can show you on screen what's going on here, because I don't want you to think there's any willy-nilly going on. And we do see miracles happen on video with these cards. So let's go ahead and find out what the universe and what the divine has or wants you to surrender in this situation. Okay? I'll choose from right here. This is the first card. Do another shuffle of these. I will keep the book nearby in case it's your first time here. I like to keep the book nearby because even though I do read intuitively, I am also trying to, if I feel like I'm missing something, especially from the advice, I'm going to look in the books. This is in regards to how can I have a better relationship with the divine. We're asking Buddha for wisdom here. This is why I say that this question is not for just one religion. It can be for any, okay? Alright, so let's see what we have with that. What we're going to come up with, okay? Get ready to be shocked. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, you never know. Okay, surrender to effortlessness. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force a river, right? So what I'm getting here is people are trying to force, their beliefs on you, or you're trying to force yourself to believe a certain way. But something's going on inside you that's just like preventing you from that. All right? You're wanting to find answers. You got a lot going on, a lot on your plate, and you may be trying to study in your spare time and figure things out. But I think that there's a couple of reasons why this card came out. First of all, don't overexert yourself when it comes to something, okay? It could be anything in your life. Don't stress out too much about it, because what you're doing is you're basically making it worse on yourself. You're causing a lot of anxiety, worry, and stress in your life. Stress is like one of the #1 killers, because it leads to all sorts of um, issues that you can have with your health. So try to not focus too much on the negatives. Try to be a little bit more positive, you know. Maybe you do find out something and you get that aha moment and you're like, oh my God, this is why this is happening. I gotta tell the world. I gotta change everybody's mind. No, don't do that. All right, whatever you find out, you know, keep that to yourself and just believe what you need to believe. Don't force your beliefs on anyone else. Don't force. It causes a lot of anger amongst people and disbelief, and that's not what you're trying to achieve here. You're trying to achieve, your own enlightenment, your own path. Just whatever you learn, take it how you take it, move on, and learn the next thing. Because this is a lifelong process. Whatever you're learning and whatever you're coming to light to is something that you're going to be learning about for the rest of your life. If you are going to force or try to force anything on anyone, just try to force forgiveness. Say, hey, okay, that person hurt your feelings, that person put you through this and that. Just forgive them. Just forgive them so you can just live your life and move forward. Right? I mean, that's cool. I mean, I think that's cool, you know? You don't want to stay in resentment for anybody for the rest of your life. That causes a lot of stress and anxiety. But if you can forgive someone, no matter what they do, then that's extra good. You don't have to hang out with them. I've mentioned this before. You don't have to hang out with them. You don't have to be their best friend. You don't have to go to their house or celebrate their birthdays and holidays every year. You can just forgive them and walk away. You never have to even see that person again if you don't want to, but at least you've forgiven them, and in your own heart you're free of that, whatever can hold you down from resentment or anything like that, right? Another thing that you can try to force on people. I know I'm laughing at this because it's like force it on them, but I don't know. I don't know why I say it that way, but it's kind of, sometimes you gotta do that, but you gotta do it in a nice way, you know what I mean? It's all about how you present yourself and how you speak to people. But another good thing is trying to force the issue of love. Try to love your fellow man instead of hate. There's so much stuff going on in the media now, and it seems like so many people are entertained with the hate. Like, if you're not talking about hate, I ain't interested. You know what I'm saying? You can post all kinds of wonderful things, for example, on Facebook. Love this, love that, I'm so happy, life is wonderful. And you don't get not one like on that. You don't get one like on that mug. Yeah, you have a friend posting about, two people, fighting each other or slapping each other as hard as they can, and it gets like 500 likes. What the hell is that? People got shit backwards for sure. People love hate. And that's not the right kind of love that we should be expressing to each other. Right? It's shameful. That's shameful. How are you going to be entertained by hate and not really care when somebody's talking about love? That sucks. Anyways, so surrender to effortlessness and just go with the flow, because we definitely can't force our views or our opinions on anybody. So, but what we can do is we can just believe what we want to believe and move forward in our life. And when people ask you, how did you do that? How did you make it? Then maybe you can, shed a little bit of light. Don't shed light like you're trying to force your views on them. Just say what happened for you. And make sure you turn around and say, but that's what I did. What you want to do could be different than me, and it could work differently for you, because not everybody's procedures in getting ahead are equivalent. We all do things in our own way, what's best fitting for us and what works for us, because we're all different. We are the same. We are all the same. We all bleed, right? We all breathe. We all live. We all die. But the way that we carry ourselves or carry on in our lives are all different. So yeah, let's find out what the kind of wisdom Buddha has. Okay. It says Kali Nagmo's Mandala Mansion. Okay, it's very small. Let me see here. Stand firm to cut through tension, doubt, and fear. All right. So with this card, I'm feeling what the divine or the universe is trying to tell us is that you may find things out in regards to whatever it is you find out, right? You might find out some shocking things about the universe, about how you were taught as a child, how it may have been an illusion, right? You may be shocked by it, absolutely shocked. But even though whatever you find out, you are finding out the truth possibly. And don't let it scare you. Some of the stuff you might learn or find out about may be extremely shocking. But, like we said before, don't push your issues or beliefs on anybody. What you can do is you can make people think. You can have a discussion about it and say, but don't say, this is how it is. I know it. No, don't do that. That scares people. That pretty much scares people, okay? What you can do is you can just talk about stuff, have a nice little discussion, because you know that the way you speak to a person and how you carry yourself is definitely going to affect the way this person thinks, right? I learned that the hard way. I used to be very abrasive and mean and nasty. And I used to be very controlling, trying to control every situation I could. Why? Because I am a woman and I can do everything just as good as a guy. And I don't care what any guy, that's exactly how I used to be. But now it's like, that was a big waste of time acting like that. It's not even worth it. Not worth my stress. Because regardless of what I say to anybody or what I do, they're going to go home, believe in anything they want to believe anyways. Why bother, right? All I can do is just talk about what I think and how I feel about stuff, and if it makes an effect on somebody, then hey, great. If not, then, so be it. There's nothing you can do about that, Let's go to the book and see what other kind of wisdom we can get from that card. Because I don't feel like I'm being quite... Oh, well, the card is a number. What kind of number is that? I think it's number 7. I think number 7 is God's number. But, whatever. That's what I think. I think it's a divine number, actually. Okay. Yeah. Kali Troma Nagmo's Mandala Mansion. Let's see what this says. Kali's mandala glows dark midnight blue, and Kali's color is blue-black. The outer edge is a ring of fire. Ring of fire. You know, you guys want to get a better look at that. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue. All right. And inside is a fence providing protection from any who would enter unprepared or without the right motivation. Passing through these levels, you can approach the lotus born in the muck beneath the water and rising up into the purity into the sky. It has bloomed from her heart and invites you in. The syllables Ha Rani Sa, part of her mantra, slowly appear on the petals, glowing and then burning and shining brighter and brighter. Their light invites the nectar of wisdom from the hearts of all Buddhas to dissolve within you, mixing together to become one great ocean of wisdom. That's very powerful. So whatever you learn, you're learning. It's just increasing the wisdom that you have for life itself, right? You're coming up with your own conclusions because you're studying and you're learning and you're doing research. Why? Because you want the truth. Let's continue. Kali, or Troma Magmo in Tibetan, is the great wrathful mother of compassion. Her intensity burns through the fabric of duality, the illusion of and that, right and wrong, God separate from me. She is the main deity in the Vajrayana pacification of suffering practice called Chod. It is traditionally done in cremation grounds and places that bring us face to face with fear, so we lean to cut through the obstacles of tension, doubts, and fear, the obstacles that deny us access to joy. Another powerful passage. So basically what they're saying there is whatever you might have learned that has been holding you back from finding peace and happiness in your life because you've been fearing whatever you've heard as a child. You know, this symbolism right here is helping you cut through that falsity that you've been maybe believing. Who knows? You know, you're trying to figure stuff out and you're figuring stuff out. But you're doing it yourself and you're making up your own mind about what you're reading and what you're hearing and what you're doing, right? It's not coming from me. It's not coming from your buddy or somebody who knocked on your door with a pamphlet. It's coming from you, okay? Because you make your own decisions, right? Let's see what else it says. Chod is an ancient one of the earliest Vajrayana sadhanas. It is a practice of self-sacrifice. Doing Chod starts with visualizing, making an offering of our most valuable possession, our body, and transforming it into a magical nectar as a gift to all beings in all realms. Although making that offer, we initiate a flow between us and everything else. We begin to appreciate that all forms are completely interconnected and that there is, in fact, an underlying unity, right? Her mandala is a map that shows the way from outer worlds through the layers of an energetic system into the inner sacred world, where you meet the divine. It is a microcosm of the macrocosm of an energy system, be it a universe, an ecosystem, a human being, or one cell. We are all organized by the same dynamism and have a similar structure. Mandalas help us focus the mind and keep meditation places sacred, like the rose windows in European cathedrals. They are the circle of beauty with symbols that move from chaos to a still point to illustrate leaving the the wildness of the outer world to find the harmony within. That was really deep, you guys. And it does hit home with me because I have done a lot of research. And I've come to find this is why when I speak about religion for myself, this is for myself, you guys, okay? Not for you guys, unless you want to do some research yourself about what I'm talking about. This is from me. I didn't grow up on religion, so I had absolutely no concept, right? So I had to look up all sorts of stuff myself. I had to go into all sorts of different religions to try and figure stuff out. But you know what I did find that was really extremely interesting to me? Is I bet you can take the 20 top religions in the world, right? And you will find so many similarities with them. They're just all kind of tweaked a different way, you know? And that's kind of what that paragraph was talking about. Talking about how all of us are really connected in some way, you know? The macrocosm and the microcosm, the connection between, ourselves and the soul and the earth and each other. If you look things up, you'll notice that in a lot of the religions, the different ones, all different, and all that you might think are like super different, but they're not. Because you'll notice that in past depictions of a lot of these religions, you'll find that there's a halo around a lot of their deities, gods, or whoever it is, angels. They all have halos, and that's a similarity. You'll also find that there is a connection also with the tree of life symbol. How in one country it's found in ancient ruins, and then in another continent you'll find that same exact symbol over there, right? You'll also find religions talking about like pine cones or something, pine cones, right? And the pine cones is also a sort of symbol that involves like the tree of life, right? How if you look into a pine cone, like the spiral in it, kind of like these right here, these spirals right here, right? This right here is a shell. So is this. This is a fossil, shell fossil. But when you do the mathematics involving this shell, you will find out that the equation, or the equation of how it's mathematically shaped or whatever, it's going to be the same. This shell could have come from one side of the world, and this shell could have come from the other, right? Yes. The similarities. Kind of like the similarities between, mankind. How similar we all are. How we all bleed. We all birth. We all bleed. Our minds all function. Maybe we speak different languages. Maybe our skin's different colors. But in the end, we all die. Not only that, what happens to the soul when we die? Some people think, oh, you get buried and that's it. Bye-bye, you're gone forever. But no. How on earth do you think our heart is beating? If that's how it would be, then we wouldn't even be alive. There's a soul within us that keeps our body, operating. That keeps every cell in our bodies moving. And we are all connected somehow through that soul, or that subconscious, or that weird energy that keeps us alive, that keeps us breathing, you know? That's basically like our battery. But what happens when our bodies, deteriorate, when they can't carry on any longer because the body degenerates? What happens to that soul? It moves on, right? It moves on and it goes to the next body that's creating and perhaps lives out through another body. That's just a possibility that I'm just putting out there. Me, I believe in reincarnation. You know, I believe that we all do stand before Creator at some time in between lives. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion alone. And I didn't learn that, you know, from these religious books. I learned that from scientific books. And I came up with my own decision, my own hypothesis, right? I believe that we're all connected by energy somehow, but that theory has been lost throughout the decades, throughout the centuries. And that's why when we were born, in our childhood, we're taught all kinds of weird stuff, and we lose a lot of our the gifts that we receive from the divine, or we lose our sense of our soul, our intuition, our abilities to connect through spirit, We're at 111.42. 111, angel number. Have you ever looked up numbers on the internet? Try it sometime. You might be shocked if you haven't already. So basically with the question, how can I have a better relationship with the divine? That's a tough question. I don't know why I came up with that, but in order to have a better relationship with the divine, in my belief, in my eyes, my opinion, not yours, unless you want to do research and figure out what I say, try to, figure out it for yourself. But my idea is the best way to have a better relationship with the divine is to have a better relationship with yourself, right? I think when you become more in touch with your own self, your own feelings, and your own beliefs, and you use your own judgment upon yourself, not upon others, but yourself, things will start coming to you, and you will realize the connection that we all have somehow, how we all have this connection through possibly energy, and how a lot of the things that we have learned in the past are basically deception to stop us from believing that we do have our own personal powers to manifest and to have whatever it is we want in life. This kind of stuff takes a lot of study, you guys. You have to be dedicated if you want to learn more about it. You can go to healers and have them help you heal or whatever, energetically healing, whatever. I never did that. Because one day I came to the conclusion that, you know what, I can do this. And it's all because of the power of belief. That's one thing I think that I didn't lose as a child, is the ability to believe that I can manifest things into my life if I really worked hard at it. And, sadly enough, that manifestation happened through pain and suffering. Me wanting to show everybody I can do it no matter what you say. And I kind of hung on to that most of my life. So my power of belief is very strong within me. What I believe, right? What I believe to be true. And I do believe in synchronicities, things that are put in my face and that lead me to certain passages in books or to look up things. I believe that those things come to me, not because I read it somewhere, because half the stuff that does come to me, I don't know why it pops into my head. I have no idea. I've never heard of it before. I don't know what it is, but I have an inkling to go and look it up. I believe that's the connection that I have with the divine, leading me to the answers that I seek. And sometimes I get these epiphanies or whatever they are out of nowhere, in the worst place, in the shower, in the backyard, digging in the ground, whatever. I get these weird thoughts, and I'm like, what? Why the heck am I thinking that? Let me go look it up before I forget, or let me go figure out what this is before I lose my mind. Mhm. So I guess when you connect with divine better, it's because you're having that really good connection with yourself and your own thoughts. And all you can do is just continue your study and finding yourself, finding the truth. Try not to stress out too much about stuff because it affects your health, you guys. It really does. It brings a lot of stress and anxiety in your life. I just saw 11616. That might mean something to somebody. Look it up on Google, maybe, if you want to figure it out. Numbers are very significant. I think this is a way the divine communicates to a lot of us. You might be saying the same number all day one day, like, I don't know, just some random number. You're like, dang, I've seen that number 4 times today. What the heck? Huh, look it up. It means something. Stay connected. You can find an answer to the meaning of any number you look up. Absolutely any number. It's on Google. When it comes to like 3 and 4 digits, you know what I mean? From 1 to 4 digits. Because then when you start going over that, it gets crazy. And then you got to decipher things and break it down. Numerology steps in and all that, you know what I mean? So if you're here and you're watching this video, it's because you're trying to figure something out, right? And possibly you think, oh, I must turn to religion to find all the answers. But that's not necessarily your answer. There is a link between religion and science. I'm fascinated by science. I was a science major, in school. I studied a lot of science, a lot. One of my favorite subjects was microbiology. And even though I know about that stuff and I know how to grow bacteria and, bacilli, whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the answer. Because how on earth are those things growing, right? They never teach you that part. I had to find that stuff out separately. Anyhow, I can talk about this stuff forever and ever and ever. So basically, I think the best thing to do is just to look within yourself. Do some research, something pops up in your head, look it up, figure it out, find it out. And then you'll soon see that, you'll start placing stuff together. And you'll be able to figure stuff out a lot easier because you have your own understanding of what you believe and how things operate in your mind. You'll find answers for sure. And you'll do that on your own. I'm just here to make you think. That's it. I'm not here to change your mind or anything. I'm not here to make you believe me. None of that. Just here to make you think. Because we all have the ability to think for ourselves. Okay. But I am forcing forgiveness and love on you all. Just kidding. So basically, I'm going to leave you with some energy. Energy that goes along with life and the creation of life. And so I'm sending you guys love. I'm sending you guys forgiveness for, even though that you may discover that you have been deceived all your life about something or another. You know, forgiveness is good. Forgive who taught you this, and forgive what you believed. It's not your fault. You know, it's just how things have gone on throughout the years, that's all. Don't be mad at anybody because of, you know, you showed me the wrong thing. No, that's maybe because that's all they know. So forgive them too. So my name is Mona, and this is Kaleidoscope Dreams Tarot, and I hope I have shed some light on anything that you were thinking, anything at all, even if it was just a little tiny bit of light. And I'll definitely see you next time for the next healing energy session, and I'll come up with a real good question then too. Okay? Thanks for watching, and I'll definitely catch you guys next time. Bye.